God, I hate that voice.
It's
I hate
it
it's
is it's like
awful.
it's awful. I feel
Yeah.
like in the last 4 years it's gotten worse. Like
hmm
in the
They didn't
prime of Zoom days, it got worse.
they didn't need to change it, and they didn't need it at all anyway. They could have just
No.
put like a little something like that says recording like right here,
To
or
be
a
fair
flash
though,
on the screen and then it's gone.
I like would love to be that. Like, do you think she gets royalties every time?
I think it's AI.
Is it AI? No.
It sounded like a worse Siri or a worse
Maybe.
whatever the Amazon one is.
Alexa,
Yeah.
that chick. Yeah.
Yeah. Who I
Yeah.
have in my apartment. I just didn't want to say it.
Same.
And
She's
then,
not in this
yeah,
room though. She's not in this
good,
room, thankfully. So,
good.
yeah.
My apartment's small, so she's in the bathroom and the kitchen, but she would have been able to hear me.
Good. It's
Yeah.
valid. It's
Yeah.
valid.
Okay. So I have questions
Let's do it. Oh
because
boy.
you used to know all of the Disney secrets.
Yeah.
Question
We'll go with
one.
that.
What's Walt's social security number?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
It is
No. So what was the actual official title? Because I know you had a few jobs. What was the one that you left Universal for to go back to Disney and do for them?
I was the marketing strategy manager for Run Disney, for Disney Sports line of business. So Disney has several lines of business, right? Think Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Disney Vacation Club. They're all separate lines of business. Disney Sports is another one. So if you travel to Walt Disney World and you see the ESPN World of Sports complex, that is an entire different line of business. And within that is Run Disney, which I was the marketing strategy manager for almost 4.5 years. God, time is a construct.
Yeah.
Um,
Was
yeah,
lockdown any of that?
yes,
Yeah,
lockdown was part of
so
that. So
so it was basically 10 years or
10
one,
years.
whichever way you want to look at
Right,
it. Yeah.
right, right. Um, crazy. Um, so yeah, marketing strategy manager for Run Disney. It's the Run Disney is the endurance events that are hosted at Walt Disney World and Disneyland again, which is awesome. We can talk about that. And then virtually around the country. So, Justin,
I had to
you
have one
came
ready.
prepped.
I
You came
did.
prepped.
I
I'm so
did.
proud of you.
I
So
thought
proud.
about it as soon as I hit record. I'm like, why am I not wearing a Disney shirt?
I know.
But
I didn't
it
plan
but
accordingly.
it's a Rush shirt and it's a pretty cool shirt, I think.
It's a great shirt.
Thrifted it for $6.
High
I
five.
know. I know.
That's
I know.
amazing. Proud of you.
Okay, cool. So you did that for 4.5 years. Was that ever something where you were on the ground day of, or was it all
Oh yeah.
getting the word? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was fun. I
Okay.
actually so when I left Disney in 2021, like we were still in the midst of Disney furlough, right? It was all over the news. Like 30,000 cast members were
Yeah.
furloughed or let go.
Yeah.
It was wild. So I left the company in 2021 officially, and very sadly, but it was the like I have to find another gig, like got to pay the bills.
Hmm.
It's getting kind of crazy. So I left and went
Kids,
over to
husband.
EA. Kids, husband, you got to
Yeah.
feed people. We had a
Yeah.
dog. It was the whole thing. Um,
EA
so
Sports.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
I've heard that.
Yes, that is where I went from Disney. Um, when I left, though, I got a phone call about 6 months later asking if I wanted to come back and be on the event management team and as just an hourly cast member and just to help work on the events. And I was like, absolutely. So I now am back seasonally doing that, which is really cool. So I know, right? So I
Yeah.
get to travel down there 4 times a year and I help support the races and I'm guest facing now. But when I was there, it was predominantly like all of the pre-plan marketing stuff to get people to
hmm
buy registrations to decide to go run a marathon because people do that for fun. Um,
Yeah, I'll
so
never
it was
understand that, though it is an exciting idea of if you're going to run a marathon, it was through the parks.
it
Yeah,
was through
or
the
it was
parks.
through the
Yes.
property. Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to do it, that's the place to do it, right? Like
maybe
You
the
can't,
only place I would consider running.
it's valid.
Like, yeah.
It's
But,
valid.
and not that I haven't done it. Like, I've run through all of them at some point, but usually there's stops for drinks and food and
Correct. A
yeah.
ride or two, some
Yeah.
sort of attraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shockingly, many of our runners do stop for drinks and food. Like you can cross the finish line with a beer from Germany or a
Oh,
margarita or a churro, which they do all the time.
okay, so what's the route? Like if you're running the marathon.
Depends, but it
Okay.
changes year over year.
Okay.
But for the marathon, for instance, you are going to run through all four theme parks at some point in time. It's
Okay.
typically starting in Epcot. You go to Magic Kingdom. You have to run through the castle. That's part of the splendors. You get to run
Fun.
forward through the castle, like facing Main Street. It's incredible. So you do that, go out the back. It's a lot of backstage view stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool for people. And then you go up and down like a side road towards Animal Kingdom. You run through Animal Kingdom. A lot of people stop and ride Everest if it's open.
A lot of people
Shockingly,
stop and ride rides.
they do if they're open. Isn't that
Is
incredible?
is okay, so because I know a marathon isn't a quick thing. It's not something you run in
Oh
an
no,
hour.
no.
So on marathon day, are the parks open? Are they open to the public? If I'm not running,
Yeah.
am I allowed to like
Yes.
are marathon runners expedited to the front of the line so they can get on Everest and get off and be gone?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
And so the races typically kick off around 5 a.m. So they're not open yet,
right.
but like spectators, it's kind of cool, can go onto Main Street at 5 a.m. and cheer runners on, which is just, if
That's
you
cool.
ever, it's super cool. Like it's like one of those like tear jerking moments where you like see it and you're like, oh my gosh, like look at all these strangers cheering for me as I'm running towards the castle.
Yeah.
It's a hallmark moment. It's incredible. Um, so you can do that. And then the parks eventually, yes, a marathon typically takes, for us, I think the time limit's like 7 hours or something like that. So by
Mhm.
the time the last runners are starting to get through the parks have been open to the public for a little while. So attractions are open and yes, they will expedite you to the front of the line if it's not too long and let you ride.
Okay.
And then, oh yeah. So
That's
people ride
very
Everest.
cool.
Isn't that crazy?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I so I had 3 or 4 friends that ran the New York City Marathon back in October, I think,
Yep.
maybe late September,
November.
early
Yeah.
November,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
around fall.
Fall.
And the energy was just incredible. I'd never gone to cheer someone on for the marathon before, and it was just an incredible energy. And if I hadn't like torn my meniscus in my left knee and rolled my ankle and my left ankle in the same like month and a half, I was like, oh, I could run the marathon. I
You
think
probably could.
I would hate it. No, I hate running so much. It's my
I
least
know.
favorite thing in the world.
Same.
But it looked like so much fun. It had me considering like maybe I should start training for a marathon. But
Love it.
I don't think, as much as I love Disney, I don't even think a 4 park Disney marathon is enough to want to bring me in.
I don't know. So Greg and I did it. We we
Well, you're
we did.
athletes.
We
You're
were
both
athletes.
athlete. I was
Back
never an
up.
athlete.
Back up. I was an athlete. He was an athlete. We are now in our 30s with 2 kids. We are not athletic,
Okay.
but
Moms are athletes. Raising kids is
70s.
no small feat. And Greg, he's there too.
He was there. He
He's there.
fathered them.
Yeah.
Sure. But thank you.
Athletes.
Yeah. Go sports. Anyway, it was painful to say the least. Like
Yeah.
it's
20.
26 miles.
Yeah.
That's a long run.
Yeah.
But
What were your times? Do you recall?
oh God, no. It was 2014. I don't know.
Okay.
5.5 hours, something like five and
Okay.
a half hours. I think we're maybe closer to
That's
6.
that's about where I would put myself too. Like,
It wasn't
I,
good.
were you trained up? Like, had you been
No,
practicing? No, just were
no.
like, hey, what do you want to do today? Want to run the Disney marathon?
26.2 miles. Why not?
Yeah.
So we actually did it. So the marathon, let me back up. Run Disney does not only just the individual endurance races, they also do challenges within each of the event weekends. So if you've ever heard somebody say they did a goofy challenge or a dopey challenge, that's doing consecutive races, consecutive days. So for the goofy challenge, it's during the marathon weekend in January, and it's running the half marathon on Saturday. So 13.1 miles Saturday, then getting up and running the full marathon on Sunday. So
Why?
that's goofy.
Why
Well,
would anyone do that
well,
ever?
Justin, because you earn a medal and it's cool to say. So, yep, but Disney can't call them dumb or idiots, so we call them
Right.
goofy, right?
Sure.
So you're goofy for doing that one. And then the dopey challenge is running a 5K Thursday, a 10K Friday, a half marathon Saturday, and the full marathon on Sunday. So it's 48.6 miles across 4 days. And those folks are called dopey. Because again, marketing, it matters. We've not done that, but
I wouldn't be your friend. You'd be insane.
yeah,
I would like,
we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't know.
no,
Yeah.
because I can't have that kind of negativity in my life.
No, respect. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Noted.
Like,
Yeah.
I would just be like, I would cut Chris out of my life too. I'd be like, dude, your family, no,
All crazy.
all of them, even the ones that married in, like, no, yeah,
I
sorry.
see, I wouldn't hold it against you because I'm not, no. Aren't they ridiculous? It's wild, these people.
So, do you recall, did you have access to like the numbers, like how many people signed up to
Oh
do
yeah.
that? How many people signed up to do that?
To do dopey is usually, I'm probably gonna get it. I think it's like 4,000 usually, and they're
1,000.
thousands. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thousands of people.
I was picturing like way less, like hundreds,
No. Oh
like a
no.
solid 75 to 150 do that. And then as
No.
the days go forward, more people tack on.
No, no. It is
Thousands of people sign up
thousands
to
of
just,
people to do all 4 races on all
wow.
4 days. Isn't that wild? So thousands do that, and then there are a subset of them. I want to say it's close to 1,000, maybe just under 1,000, are what we consider perfect, meaning they have done it every single year since that event has existed. And I want to say that event started in 2012, maybe 2014, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So for a decade plus, these folks come down to Florida every single year and run 48.6 miles in a weekend
For a medal.
for 6 medals. But yes,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's you get a medal per event and then a medal per
Okay.
challenge. So if you run,
Sure.
and the goofy challenge is obviously part of the dopey challenge because it's the half
Right.
marathon and the full marathon. So
Right.
so Greg and I did goofy. Back to that. We did
You
the half
did.
marathon. We did because we're dumb. We ran the half marathon Saturday and the full marathon Sunday, which is probably also contributing to why we were in so much pain the next day. But we were also very young and we thought, why not? Let's test fate.
When y'all got home after the half marathon, did either one of you look at the other one and be like, we have to do that twice tomorrow? What
We
were we
did.
thinking?
We
Yeah.
did. Well, and Greg and I are like moderately competitive humans with each other.
Oh, yeah.
So
Moderately.
moderately, just a scotch. So while we were running said half marathon on Saturday, I was doing a pace to beat Greg. And he kept looking at me like, well, you're dumb. We're going to do this again tomorrow, twice. So he kept telling me to slow down. And I was like, no, like I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Let's go. And then Sunday morning I woke up and regretted every decision I made the day
Yeah.
before. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I ran a 5K when I was like a senior in high school with no prep. And the
Sure.
next day, my legs wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So just because of all the lactic acid buildup,
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine, not that you were like as unprepped as I was for the 5K, but like I can't imagine
Oh,
going in and just being like, all right, now let's run that again twice
for fun
for fun.
tomorrow. Right. Like
Fun.
we're
Yeah.
not there to win. but
No.
like, yeah, why not? Let's just to say we did it. I'll send you the picture because it's just comical. The picture of us after we did it. We're standing together with our medals. We get 3 medals. You get one for the
Hmm.
half, one for the full, and then one for the actual challenge itself. I have a giant ice pack tied to my hip. And
Hmm.
then we both have big X's on our hands because we stopped at the aid stations to get Tylenol halfway through, and they have to mark off that they've already given you Tylenol
Right.
every time. So like we look like we were trying to get into a really bad club for like geriatric people when we got done. So it was a good time. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure the feeling of accomplishment is like nothing else afterwards.
true. That is
Yeah.
valid. That is valid.
And I'm sure I've heard from my friends that ran the New York City Marathon that that first beer after running a marathon is the best tasting thing in the world.
Yes. Yes, they are not wrong. So
Yeah.
we finished our we had friends meet us in Germany because the last part of the leg goes around World Showcase in Germany. And because we were so slow, the park was open. So there's
Hmm.
guests lining the side. Our friends, Jeff and Melissa, had met us in Germany with beers. So they had them on this. So we got to cross the finish line drinking our beers, which was kind of fun.
That is fun.
Yes. So,
Best
and it
tasting beer
was
ever.
best tasting beer
Yeah.
ever. Yes. Phenomenal. And then we
Yeah.
went home and promptly got into the fetal position and
Hmm.
didn't move for, I don't know, 48 to 72 hours.
Sounds right.
So, yeah, that was great. It
Yeah.
was great. And then I started working for them 3 years later and started telling people to go do that for fun. It's also great.
You
So,
know what though? You walked the walk.
thank
You
you.
weren't you weren't recommending something that you would never do or had never done.
Touche.
And I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure you probably said that at least once when someone was
Yeah,
like, yeah, like, I like, is this a good idea? And you're like, I've done it.
yeah, it's got to be a great
I had
idea.
fun. Yeah.
It's
Maybe
great.
train, maybe stretch.
Stretching's good.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do the goofy. I don't know. If you don't really like running, don't pick an event.
Pick, yeah, pick just one.
Just one.
I reckon 5K and then build up every year, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Yeah.
look at you. You could do it.
No, knee, ankle. I would collapse at like the 1 mile mark
Nah,
if I made it that far.
nah.
Now, have you heard how I tore my knee up?
No.
I was at the previously aforementioned job that I'm no longer allowed at,
Yep.
and it was Barbenheimer weekend,
Oh
and we
boy.
were we were trying for a couple months in the summer do a party brunch type thing.
Oh,
And
cool.
so we
Yeah.
were we were opening early on Sunday and we had a DJ and it just never took off. Mostly because the marketing and advertising never did their part. So
Okay.
we had it and no one knew about it. And the DJ put on Barbie Girl by Aqua,
Yeah.
if you're familiar.
Oh,
And the bar was empty except for me, the DJ, the server, and the hostess. And so I came around and I was jumping up and down and dancing and doing the
oh
whole
no.
thing. And I just came down and I heard a pop and I was like, oh, oh no, oh no. And I limped
Austin.
back to the bar and I was like, this doesn't feel like I'm going to walk it off.
Oh no.
And so I had my manager run across the street to the CVS and get me a knee brace and Tylenol. And he also got something that you might have heard of, Tiger Balm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I smeared a heaping fistful of that on there, and now I still can't run.
I was was not the miracle cure.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm gonna. So I suppose I've read that these can heal themselves,
Yeah.
but it's been close to a year as this happened in July, and I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, so it's not gonna ever fully heal, so I'll need to have surgery eventually.
Oh
But
no.
fun fact about the current economical situation and living in New York and how everything's so expensive, I don't have health insurance at the moment.
Oh
So
no.
I can't do anything about it right now.
Okay, so no excess dancing for you for the time being then.
No, I can, if I lift like one leg up and I can jump on the other leg.
Okay. Okay.
while waving my arms.
Well, waving your arms a little bit.
I
Yeah.
wasn't a good dancer before, so this actually isn't taking away from how good I look dancing.
Okay. Well, that's positive.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe no 5Ks, 10Ks, halves, or fulls for
No.
you for a little while.
No. No,
But
definitely not.
post-surgery, we'll talk about this
Absolutely.
because Disney is the only place we should be running through.
It's the only place I would consider it.
That's valid. Okay.
Are there, besides the 5, 10, half, and full, are there any other events, any other Run Disney things that happen?
Yeah. So there's 4 events on site at Disney World and 2 at Disneyland currently. Funny enough, when I started working there, we actually sunset all of the Disneyland races literally 4 months after I started, which really sucked. It was devastating because everybody in California, that was like their local race. You're running a half marathon through Anaheim. It was very cool. Greg and I flew out there and did a half marathon out there in 2016 just to see what it was like. It was very, again, before I even worked for the company. So we sunset all of those, took them all away. People were very mad about it, like real angsty. Right after we made the announcement, I actually had to fly up to Chicago to support Run Disney at the Chicago Marathon. We had like a booth at their expo, and I got a lot of
Yeah, a lot of hate coming your
a
way.
lot of hate. They were not happy. As though I made the decision, right?
Right.
Like I'm so sorry on behalf of the Walt Disney Company that we took away that half marathon. But
A
anyway,
gigantic multi-billion-dollar
yes.
company.
Yes.
The person
Me,
who's
Meghan
forced to be
Langlois, it
here.
was my
Yep.
decision. I just started
Yep.
with the company and was like, what can we do to really piss
Yeah.
people off? Got it. So they've now brought those back at Disneyland, which is awesome, and they're wildly successful. So anyway, there's 4 at Walt Disney World. Those are the ones that I support now, again, as like an event management support person. Each race weekend has a 5K, a 10K, and a half, with the exception of the one they call it the Springtime Surprise Weekend, which was formerly a Star Wars themed race weekend, which didn't, I know, I see your eyes, which didn't take off like they thought it would, shockingly. Star Wars fans don't want to run. I know, right? You're there.
Yeah.
You're there. Um,
Aw.
I know. I know. So you get
Aw.
Star Wars fans and then you have runners, and they are not,
They're
there's not a
not
lot of
this.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
So
that Venn diagram, they're not even touching.
no, no, they're not. It's
Aw.
yeah. Yeah. So it was a
That's
big bummer.
fair. Okay.
I know. It's so they changed the theming of it during pandemic times. Ironically, actually, that was supposed to be our sunset of the Star Wars events was supposed to happen in April of 2020, and obviously that was canceled. And then we rethemed it to the Springtime Surprise Weekend. So that weekend is a 5K, a 10K, and a 10 miler, which is loads of fun. So a little less than a half marathon, just 10 miles.
Okay. What's 10K and then 10 miles? I feel like there's not that big a difference there.
So a 10K is 6.2 miles. And then, yeah, so
Right.
about a little
Isn't
over
isn't a
3.5.
5K is
It's
5K
three.
3.1? I thought it
You
was
did 3.1.
I thought it was 3.6.
Nope, 3.1. You got it.
Ugh.
5K is 3.1. I know. Let's talk about the metrics system for a
Yeah.
second. Like, what are we doing?
Can we get the rest of the world, all 205 other sovereign nations, to do
Thank you.
this system instead of us going to the one that they're all using? That doesn't
What
make
are
sense.
no, yeah, please.
I hate that. I hate
I
that
hate
for
them.
us.
Me
We're
too.
working on it.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we?
No.
No.
No. I love the meme. I'm sure you've seen it where there's like, the US just adopted a new elephant for this zoo that's the size of 6 refrigerators or something.
Yes.
And then underneath it'll be like the US will use any measurement system except the metric system.
That's it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's fine. So yes, and which I love about the Run Disney weekend because we mix it in. Like 5K,
Mhm.
10K, 10 miler.
Yeah.
Like we can't
Yeah.
say, I don't even know what that is, 15K? I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know. 9.3 would be.
Oh yeah, it'd be
15K,
9K.
I
So a little bit
guess.
less. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. Maybe I don't, I mean, you're the marketing one. Maybe to get people to be like, oh, 10K, 10 miles. That's not that much more.
Right.
I'll run
Right.
both.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
it's almost double.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
You
marketing people
wouldn't
do.
you wouldn't trick me.
Well, you just did the math, so I couldn't get
Yeah.
you in. Don't tell your friends though.
Yeah. I mean, I also might have been like in the 1% of people that would have run a Disney or a Star Wars themed running thing.
Which I love for you, and I wish we
Yeah.
would have kept it. It was funny because
Would have
people were really upset about it when we got rid of it.
I would have
Like,
done it in a cosplay though.
oh yeah, you have to.
Like full like clone trooper with like the gun helmet,
Oh,
like just sprinting the entire time.
you would have been in really good company.
Yeah.
There's a guy that runs almost all of the events dressed as Jack Sparrow. And he's literally, I
Is he
know,
doing the Jack Sparrow run?
the whole time.
Good for him.
He is in full character and it is
Oh,
the best. It is fantastic. And he plays it so well
yeah.
the whole time. Like,
That is
does
not an that's not an easy run.
no.
Like it's a high energy run,
Yes,
and he's doing it for like he doesn't do the marathon like
sure
that.
does. Oh yeah.
Good for him.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
That's not like natural. Like the way he runs,
No.
like your like legs are bowed, like out. Like
Your
he's,
hips are a little like turned too, so you're like a little
yeah,
side shuffling
yeah,
type thing.
yep,
That's great.
yeah. It's good stuff. I think he's got an Instagram handle. I don't follow him yet, but I probably should. But
Yeah.
like
We'll
running
find him,
Jack
we'll
Sparrow.
tag him.
Do it. Yeah, he's
I'll take this clip and I'll make sure that he gets tagged.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
Have
it's
you
awesome.
have you seen the TikTok reel, YouTube, whatever shorts of the guy that runs as all the different characters
Yes, yes,
and he does the Disney version?
yes,
It's very good. I'm so concerned because he sprints
yes,
and I don't know how he like I remember I saw his Buzz Lightyear one, his Woody one, his Jack Sparrow,
yep,
and I'm like, this guy looks like he's about to fall at any given moment just based on the blur of the trees that are
yes.
behind him. I'm how is he moving so quick, so animated, so
He seems like
specific?
so specific. He seems like a
Yeah.
very high energy guy though,
Yeah.
which I love for him.
Hmm.
Not my jam, but I love for him.
No, I'll watch it. I'll watch
Yeah.
it five, six
Yeah.
times. I'll give him all the. I'll share it. I'll repost it. I'll do
Oh
whatever he
yeah.
wants to do. I won't do it myself personally, though.
No.
I
No.
don't have that kind of energy.
No, nor do
Yeah,
I. Nor do I,
yeah,
unfortunately. It's a different breed of human that can
yeah,
run like that. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Have
I
to
know.
enjoy running, I think, and that's where I. It's like that's the first thing you need, and
Yeah.
I fall off
Yeah,
pretty quick, and
I'm with you. So
yeah.
in my new role, while I'm like on the ground, I get to do a really fun job, which is I get to ride a bicycle at the very back of the pack with a team of people that ride bicycles. So we're what they call we're the pacers, if you will, right? Like, so
Hmm.
our job is to make sure everybody moves through the parks and off the roads at a certain time because when you're hosting these Run Disney, these events, they're huge scale, right? So you have to close down a bunch of roads for safety. Obviously, we've got like, police and all sorts of like vehicles and stuff out there, like making sure that the path is clear for the runners. So unfortunately, not unfortunately, I think that's normal for every race. You have a pace, right? You have to maintain a specific pace. You have a
Yeah,
certain
and if
amount
you
of
fall
time.
behind, then they pull you out.
We do. So that's our job. So I'm on the bike doing that, but it's like I laugh when people are like, can I jump on your bike? And I'm like, no, there's a reason I'm doing this and you're doing
Yeah,
that. Like I couldn't do that. Good for you. That's
right.
like always my line is like, you guys are running because y'all like running. No, thank you. I'm gonna pedal my bike at
Yeah.
less than a mile an hour behind you.
Hmm.
Because yeah, that's my MO.
I realize I asked how many people do all four events, the dopey, but I don't think I asked how many people actually sign up like for the marathon. Like how many people do you guys have on marathon day?
It's like we're like the fifth largest or fourth largest marathon hosted in
I
the United States.
I
It's
thought so. I
huge.
thought I heard that like years ago. Like
Yeah.
one year, like I had heard And I might be wrong. Is the number like in the close to 100,000? Is it like 80 or 90-ish
It was like
thousand?
80 or 90,000 are brought there, but that's across all four events and like with spectators and stuff. It's usually closer to like
Got it.
25 to 30,000 are actually running.
Okay, so I
So
must have read 80 or 90,000 people head to Disney for the marathon,
yeah, yeah,
not we're actually running. That's
right.
still a huge number of people
It
though.
is massive. It's a lot of people
Yeah.
to get through. It's so cool though. Like if you think about it, again, it's like an accomplishment in and of itself. I think it's like 2% of the world will complete a marathon. Like in any given, like you're in like 2% of the world for finishing a marathon.
Yeah.
So it's a very cool accomplishment. And if you can imagine doing it at Disney, like the entertainment is on point. You, again,
Hmm.
like I said, you can jump on a ride if you want to. You've got
Yeah.
characters everywhere. You've got strangers on Main Street with signs that are like, I'm so proud of you. So you're like sobbing as you're running down Main Street. Like I've not run many other races, but I cannot imagine there being anywhere else in the world that would be as supportive and cool. Like people are cheering for each other. Like the first runners that are finishing are like on course after they've gone home and showered, like cheering for the slower runners that are
Yeah.
finishing their first marathon. It's so cool. It's so
I love
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's got to be
it's like it's Disney. It's Disney
yeah.
heartwarming, lovely stuff.
Hmm. It's got to be like a magnification like 100 times of just the positive vibes you get just being in the
Yes.
parks. Like you and I are no stranger to being in those parks. I think I
Right.
was at one point catching up to you guys, and then I fell off
You're
a
getting
little
there.
bit. And now, I don't have a job there. I can't go
I know.
4 times a year and just,
Well,
casually hang out. Weren't you just down there like less than a month ago too?
yeah. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, yeah,
I
cool, cool,
know.
cool, 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 cool.
Yeah, sorry, I know.
Whatever. No,
I
it's
know.
fine.
I
It's fine.
know.
No, it's
I
fine.
know.
It's whatever. I don't even care.
Shame.
I'm gonna be down there next week. I don't even
I
care.
know it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
fine.
there 2 weeks later. It's okay. I'm sorry we're
Uh-huh.
missing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
sorry.
am too. Yeah.
I'm bummed.
But that's fine. I'll see Chris, and I texted him today. He's jealous that this is happening.
Well, he better watch and
Oh
listen.
yeah, absolutely. It's probably he's this is gonna be the first one that he watches or listens to. I
What a
don't think he's
supportive
listening.
friend. Yes, he is.
Right. Yeah.
Chris, we're calling you out.
I want to know what your favorite episode is before this one, Chris. Let us know.
That's right.
And I want to know why.
That's right.
I
I
want a
want
hundred
detail.
words. I want 100 words or less.
That's right.
Favorite guest and
Need
why.
details.
Yeah.
Second favorite guest and
Second
why.
odd. I said before this episode, I thought it
Okay,
was
okay.
implied that
I
continued,
got you.
but
I'm
yeah,
with you. Okay. All right,
yeah,
we're there. We're there. We're there. We're there.
yeah. Okay, so no stranger to Disney. Would it be fair to say that you know some secrets that maybe the general public doesn't know?
Oh man. Maybe. I probably know
Cool.
a lot of secrets about Run Disney specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really privy to a ton of info anymore, to be honest with you, but we used to
Okay.
have, I mean, I used to have some solid access to stuff. I
Yeah.
do know there, again, as part of my job for Run Disney, this isn't like everyone knows this, but maybe you don't know this. As part of my job for Run Disney, I sat in what they call their emergency operations center, which was their like security and safety arm.
Mhm.
I learned when I was there, like Disney is like one of the most secure, safe places on earth. Like it is,
I've heard that. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe this isn't super shocking, but like you hear things, and I learned things about like how many plainclothes officers are in the parks at any given time. And for the race weekend, we've got same thing, plainclothes officers that are out running, looking like normal runners, but they're there for safety and security. And it's just like, how,
I don't think I knew about that one.
yeah, isn't that
Like
crazy?
that's great. Like that they could just like, you're looking around, let's say you're looking down Main Street, you see hundreds of people that
Yeah.
just couple of them or a dozen of them might just be working, like working
Yeah,
security, but pretending not to be.
right. That
That's
look,
that's that's kind of reassuring.
I know it was one of
Yeah.
those, I was like, holy monkeys, like they've got it together. I mean, the room we sat in had camera, like it was just a big TV wall, if you will, with cameras up all over the park. So you've got a view of like I don't know, it's just crazy. Like you look and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a camera there. So now when I go to the parks, I'm like, there's a camera there. There's a
Yeah.
camera there. There's one there. So yeah.
I heard a rumor. What, I don't know when you were able to check this room out with the wristbands, that they're tracking like everything that you do, not just like,
Oh,
oh, went into this park in the morning and then they, went into their room. Obviously, the things you like key
yeah.
into, but also like, oh, this person like Justin is eating here and then he finished and then he left that restaurant, and like it's tracking like that close of a
Almost like a
like
GPS tracker,
location.
you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that I do know that it's like the purpose of that technology was to try to make a more seamless guest experience, right? Like a more personalized guest experience. So they
Hmm.
would know Justin bought Mickey ears yesterday at the Emporium. He's most likely going to go buy a hat now at Epcot. Like, so we could trigger marketing messages to you that way by
Sure.
understanding customer behavior, guest behavior. I don't know about the GPS aspect of it. What is interesting though, now that you say that, is they are implementing new ways to play with like the wristbands. Like they're like electronic now. Like when you walk past a statue in Epcot, it like vibrates and like lights up, and then like the statue starts playing music.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. Eh, yeah,
Is
it's
it a little
cool, but like
creepy?
a little creepy now that I think
Yeah,
about it
yeah.
though. Like, how'd you know I was there? Statue.
Right. So
So
the wristband vibrates.
wristband vibrates and like lights up.
Okay.
Yeah, they sell these new ones that are like super advanced and they do
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. Like, I don't know, maybe a little borderline Big Brother.
I kind of saw that coming, not the activating the statue thing. That's very cool.
It's
I
cool.
hadn't
Yeah.
I hadn't considered that, but I see footage from like Taylor Swift's concerts
Yeah.
and how they all have these wristbands that are synced up
Yeah.
to the light and soundboard that's
Yep.
at the concert. And so, she says, put your hands up, and then all of a sudden your wristbands light it like they're all white.
Okay.
And then like the song changes, and then it goes in waves around the stadium, changing colors. So
That's
it
cool.
knows where you are. I don't know if you get a wristband and it assigns your seat, or if it knows just where you are
Yeah.
based on like different like receivers or
Or
what, but
satellites or
like,
what?
or something, but like they're changing it. Like imagine your one wristband is like a LED on a screen.
Yeah.
They're making like the entire back section look like an image by
Oh,
having
that's
like
cool.
a bunch of white and then red fill in like the letters like here, and then it's a T, and then they
Yeah.
all change instantly, and then it's an S for like Taylor Swift or something. And it's crazy like how far that technology, like wristband technology, is coming,
Yeah,
and all the cool things they're thinking of doing with it.
for sure. So that's so funny. I want to know now more. I'm gonna ask some peeps if I can find out
Yeah.
more about the wristbands there. When I was with Universal, we opened Volcano Bay. It was right before I left Universal. Um, and it's funny enough, I've not been to Volcano Bay as like a guest. Like we never took the family, which is terrible. I'm sorry, Universal. Um, but they introduced a wristband system when you walk into Volcano Bay, everybody gets a wristband. It's free for the day, like basically check it out if you will. And it like similarly, it monitors like wait times for you the whole time you're there. So you would go to a ride, you tap it. It was called Tapu Tapu. I don't know if it's still called Tapu Tapu, but you'd go tap it, super cute. And
Yeah.
then they'd like based on how many people on your party tapped it, it would give you a return time. And then it would tell you on like a board, like return time in 45 minutes. And then you'd like go do something else. Like you can go to a restaurant or whatever, and it will vibrate based on your location to like notify you that it's time to return to that ride when it's your turn to ride. It's like fast pass on steroids, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they had
That's
introduced
very
that.
cool.
It was really cool. But again, back to like the wristband technology,
Yeah.
it knew where your like location was in the park. It could estimate for you how long it would take you to get there. So like
Yeah,
if you were at the
See,
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that I was hearing about the Disney wristbands.
I don't know if the
Like it was
Disney ones do
basically
that.
it was basically tracking you throughout the entire like Magic Kingdom or Epcot or
Yeah.
what have you. And they'd be
I don't
like,
know if it
"Oh,
is.
Justin and Chris were like going around the world and they stopped." Like I for food and wine, I'm a big fan of the apple orchard area because I like
Yeah,
ciders and
sure.
apples are my favorite fruit. And so if I were to pick stuff up, I would go like find a high top near the water and I would hang out there like more than other spots. And the
Yeah.
last time I went, I actually went alone because most people didn't want apples or cider. And I'm
Sorry.
like, we're gonna part ways for an hour, guys, because that's what I want to do and I don't want to miss it. And so I was wondering if it would like know that I was like, hey, Justin was sitting at that high top for
By himself.
35
Yeah.
minutes. That's
Yeah.
more than he spent anywhere else.
It's a great point. I don't know.
And
Now
also,
that you say that,
what would they do with that information? Because in terms of like product,
you would
the
add,
apple pie and the hard ciders, I don't know where else you would get those
no, but they may
on the
see that traffic goes through there and say people like Justin like to sit here, so we would add seating and or find another commercial opportunity to sell him something else.
got it. Yeah.
They would do
Yeah.
that. They do that a lot. They try to find, there's an entire commercial arm of Disney, and their job is quite literally just to find additional opportunities to have you spend money. To
Well, of
find
course.
well, right. But
Yeah.
like in like a way that makes sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
they're,
that's gonna be the hardest part of going down for this whole get out of debt thing and then also going to
I
Disney
know.
World. Like,
Yeah,
how am
I'm
I
sorry.
how am I gonna explain that one? Like, how am I gonna do day 38? I'm at Epcot.
I
Let's see
spent
what happens. Yep.
$246 at Epcot on
Yep.
4 drinks and a churro.
Yep.
Might be.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Boma is going to be breakfast, and I think breakfast at Boma is still only 35.
Yeah. And that
So
fills, I mean, you can do breakfast at Boma and be full for like the day.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're doing it at 7:30, and that's going to be pretty
Oh
early.
yeah, that's right. That is
Yeah,
right.
but
Yeah.
but they don't kick you out, so
No. Oh no.
we can just slow like keep going back for small plates 5, 6, 7 times.
Which is what you should do. That's like the
Well, I'm
right
gonna go back
strategy.
for big plates 5, 6, 7
Got it.
times because
Noted.
I'm a heathen.
Noted.
And if I'm gonna spend $35 on
Get
breakfast,
your
I'm gonna
monies.
get my money's worth.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
So if a dozen eggs cost me $3.99, I need to eat. Hold on.
What's that?
105 eggs.
I was gonna say 10 dozen or so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pace yourself.
Oh yeah.
Godspeed.
Oh,
You got it.
that's my Disney marathon.
There it is.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
We've
Nailed it.
come full circle.
I love it.
It's a prop.
I love it.
So you used to work for Universal as well.
I did.
Did you see the trailer for the new parks that they're doing?
I did. So fun fact, I was
Ooh,
there. I left. This isn't super secretive or anything. I was there when they had started discussing Epic Universe. Um, so it's really cool. Orlando's a weird spot. And not a lot of people know, like it's funny, like the corporate offices for most of the parks are like for Disney are not at the parks. Like they're within Disney property, but they're not close. And then there's corporate offices in Celebration for Disney. So I worked,
aren't they near the high-rise hotels that are like right at the outskirts of the property?
depends which hotel, which one you're talking about. There's like a corporate finance office that's right across from Disney Springs. So a lot of like
I think
the
so,
big
yeah.
wigs.
Hmm.
Yep, a lot of the big wigs sit there. Then there's like a corporate alliances arm, and like that's the team that works with like all of the sponsorship groups. So like, your sink brought to you by Whirlpool. Like
Right.
Whirlpool is a corporate sponsor. So they're considered a corporate alliance is what we call them. So there's an entire group of people that sit in a separate building that work with those vendors. Security is obviously all on property. There's Disney Event Group is all on property, but then like the marketing teams typically and a lot of like the finance groups and stuff like that sit off property in Celebration. At Universal, everybody's contained. So the cool thing was my office building sat right next to it's Universal Creative. So like the people that are coming up with like attractions and like ride concepts and stuff. So we got to go see like new virtual reality of like a new hotel walkthrough, and like it was very, very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
So I remember them, yeah, I remember seeing initial early concepts of Epic Universe before I left. And it was like, are they actually going to pull that out? They like hadn't they I don't know if they'd purchased the land yet or not, but like it's kind of cool like to think about it like, oh yeah, I was there when you guys were starting to concept that. It's really,
Yeah.
really cool. So, yeah, it looks incredible.
It looks incredible. And I don't know if we've ever talked about this, how big of a How to Train Your Dragon fan that I am.
We haven't, are you?
It's How to Train Your Dragon 2 is my one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's a good choice. I don't blame you for that.
It's a great choice. I also loved 3, but 3 was also basically 2 again.
Yeah,
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 it's like oh, he's stopping the guy who's trying to do a dragon army again.
right.
We get it.
Yeah, we did this 3 years
Yeah.
ago. It's fine.
Yeah, it was great. We got the Light Fury, and we got Toothless, and we got everyone moving on and
Yep.
letting
Yep.
the drag, like, we got that, but 2 was just a
Perfect.
masterpiece. Yeah.
Chef's kiss, could have ended it
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. The new land looks incredible. I'm very
Hmm.
excited for them. I still have a lot of really good friends that are still with Universal working on it. So they were all sharing out the video yesterday. I was like, good for you guys.
Yeah.
It's
It
cool.
looks great. I can't wait. I hope when it opens, I have no more debt so that I can
Okay.
go. It opens what, 26?
I thought it was summer 25, but maybe it is 26.
25?
I thought it was 25.
Here's the
You're going to be out
thing.
of debt before 2025. We just talked about
I
this.
That's the plan.
I know. We're going to get you
But if
there.
they keep opening things like this, I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
be
know.
more in debt now than I am now.
Yeah. You got to get a job there. Get a
I
seasonal
could,
job.
you know how much I want to do that?
I know.
It would take me away from everything that I'm doing in New York, though,
Yes,
unfortunately.
it would. Yes, it
I
would.
wish I had had the foresight to go and be a cast member like right out of college or in
Yeah.
college, do the college program, because that's one of those things that I know I missed out on. That was
Yeah.
probably so much fun.
Oh, I bet I didn't do college program, which was so funny. It was like hard to get a job with Disney if you weren't in college program.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was like one of the things people laughed at, like on my resume, I didn't have them. They'd ask about it. They're like, were you part of the college program? Nope. I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My bad.
I wish I had.
Yeah,
I'd go
I
back.
wanted
I'd do it
to.
now. Yeah.
I wanted to.
I
Will you
can.
take me now?
Yeah. I can take a class at a community college and then sign up.
Yeah. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I'll be a student. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
See?
It'd be like, I don't know. I think maybe they think that we're weird in our 30s doing the college program. You
Yeah.
especially, since you already have a job with them, being like, you
Also
know what I'm
that.
gonna do? I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
do the
go
college
back to
program.
college because I want to do the college program. I want you to pay me less
Yep.
to do more work
I'm gonna go
as a
serve
college
French
student.
fries in the America section of
Yeah.
Epcot.
Yeah, I could do that. Which is,
Yeah.
by the way, they just redid that. Have you been back there yet? They just redid the restaurant back there and the bar.
No. No,
Really?
I haven't been down to Disney since 22, I think.
Okay.
I don't think I went
Uh,
last year.
okay.
So like October, it was the year that Pete announced that he was gonna have a kid.
Have a
And
baby. That's
now
right.
and now that baby is
No.
6 months old, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years ago is when I was there
Okay.
last.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm excited for you guys to
8 days. 8 days.
8 days.
Can't wait.
Ugh.
I
So
can't.
jealous.
It's gotten. We were talking about it. It's like, how do you spend just one day at Disney? And what do you do? And how do you figure it out? Do you do the hopper pass? Do you find one park and just really enjoy the day?
I think you're doing it right. I think
I
Epcot's,
think
you
so.
guys you've done it. You know what I mean? Like it's not your
Hmm.
first time. You don't have to see everything. You guys know what you want to see. You go to enjoy it. That's the right way to do Disney, I think.
He texted me today and he said, I think we're going to lock in Epcot mostly because of the Patrick Warburton thing that happened last week
Oh,
or 2 weeks
yes, yes,
ago.
at Soarin'. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that
Popping
looked
out and
amazing. Yes,
repeating his monologue from the
yes,
original video from
yes.
what, the early 2000s?
Had to be.
Like,
He did not, he aged well, but also like
yeah,
you could tell he aged. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, Patrick.
yeah. Hair's very white.
Oh yeah.
The mustache didn't help, like,
No,
keep him looking young, but
no.
also, who cares?
Oh yeah.
Guy's a legend,
Treasure. He's
A
a
Disney
treasure.
legend. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think Chris's hope is that we go on Soarin' and we wait in line, and then Patrick Warburton walks out.
Pops
He's
out.
like, "Oh, welcome to Soarin'."
Would be incredible.
It would be incredible. And then we
I
would take a picture, send it to you, and then you would be like, 1 week. Why couldn't he do it next week?
next week. I'd ask
Yeah.
him that. I would text back to you and say, ask him why he couldn't wait until I was there. We do have a really cool celebrity story. I don't know if have I told you this one from
I don't know.
Epcot.
I don't know.
So we used to go because we lived there. Greg and I would go to the candlelight processional at Epcot every year to like kick
Yes.
off, you know, the big,
Mhm.
it's like the big choral like Christmas songs, and they always bring a celebrity out to read the Christmas story. It's incredible. So we were in our like How I Met Your Mother phase where we were obsessed with Neil Patrick Harris. I know, still, we're still there, but
Yeah.
right. But we would make a point every year. He normally does 2 or 3 nights of the candlelight processional where he goes and reads, and you're like, yeah, that's fantastic. So it's packed. It's always packed, and it's always on weeknights. It's always like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right. So like obviously they do that purposely to bring more people in during the weekdays. Makes sense. So we would go, we'd always try to go and get, like do dinner somewhere and then go to watch him read the Christmas story and kick it off. And it's always magical. You're like, yes, Christmas can start now. It's fantastic. So one year he was down there and we like watched the show, and at the end of it, he was wrapping up and he's like, all right, everybody, Merry Christmas, good night. I'm gonna go watch Illuminations. And Greg and I are like, he's like, I'm like going to Germany to watch Illuminations. And we're like, do you really think he's going to? Like, that would be wild. You
Yeah.
never think. So the theater
Well,
clears
you
out.
also wouldn't think that he would tell everyone where he
No,
was going
right,
specifically.
right, right. But we were like, how funny would it be if he actually did? So the theater clears out. People are like waiting for him. He like goes from suit and tie to like denim and hoodie in like 4 seconds flat, puts a
Mhm.
baseball cap on, and they like escort him out, right? Because fans are everywhere. So Greg and I are like leisurely walking around World Showcase, we were gonna watch Illuminations and then kind of like mosey out. And as we're walking through Germany, we see his husband is standing waiting with food by himself with no like handler or anything. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, Greg, should we go say something to him? And Greg's like, yeah, why not? So I like walked over. I'm like, excuse me, David, I'm a huge fan. Do you mind? Because he's also, by the way, in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah, he's
Scooter.
Scooter, yeah.
Scooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lily's boyfriend. So I'm like, David, I'm a huge fan. Do you mind if we get a picture with you? And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. No problem. The nicest human alive. And I'm like, so we took a picture. I took a picture with him, which I still have, and I still like fawn over. And then he sat there and wanted to like chat with us for 10 minutes because he's from Michigan. So like he
No
and Greg,
way.
yeah, went to the University of Michigan, went to Michigan. And he and Greg are like chatting. We were talking about their kids because their kids are the same age as my niece. And we were like, oh, I think they were like 2 at the time. And so we're sitting there chatting. And it was like the most incredible thing. So we're talking for like 5 or 6 minutes, and he goes, did you guys see the show? And we were like, oh yeah, we come for Neil every year. We love it. It's so great. And he's like, oh, well, he's gonna come out here if you want to meet him. And I think I peed a little. I was like, yeah, like we're trying to like play it cool, but I'm like, yes, absolutely. And he's like, yeah, he'll be out here in a couple minutes. So again, we keep chatting, and then all of a sudden his phone rang and it was Neil. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm out here. There's nobody out here yet, but I have your food. So Neil had gone backstage of America, walked over to Germany, and was coming through the German restaurant. And he hung up the phone, looked at Greg and I, and he goes, he's going to be a couple minutes, like if you guys want to wait around. And I don't know what came over us, but like Midwest Nice killed us. And we both were like, oh no, that's okay. No problem. Like, thank you so much for the time. It was so great to meet you. And he's like, okay. So we backed away, and not 40 seconds later, Neil came out from Germany with a handler. And Greg and I were like, so we turned around to go back and like wave hello. And the handler was like, you gotta walk away. You guys gotta like,
Yeah,
isn't that wild?
that's crazy. Yeah.
To this day, like this lives with me. And it's just regret, absolute regret.
Oh man. Do you think David told him like, yeah, I just met this great couple and they
Of course he
just
did. Of course,
booked
because
it like 30 seconds ago?
we were a delight, naturally.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Yes.
The two kindest, most delightful people
Thank you.
that he's
Yes.
ever met.
It
That I've ever
was,
met, but I haven't met that many people.
that's fair. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. We'll take it. I'm gonna,
But that David Patrick Harris has also
yeah,
ever met.
David. Oh my
Probably,
gosh.
I don't know his last name,
I do, and
but I
it's
think
gonna
it's
kill
funny.
me.
I think it's funny to make that he would take Patrick and Harris
Yeah,
if
both of
they
them.
got married.
You
Yeah,
have to, and you have to say
yeah,
it that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like for Robert Downey Jr., his wife is Susan Downey Jr.,
Yes.
not just Susan Downey, because
Yes.
that doesn't sound right.
No, Susan Downey Jr.,
Yeah,
naturally.
has
Yeah.
to be.
That's their name.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It was the best. It was one of those moments I was like, son of a biscuit. So never again will I be nice and go, no, no worries. I'm going to give you your space, celebrity.
Yeah.
So you guys run
Just
into Patrick Warburton, you got to be like, you got to sit with us, man.
impose.
Like, yeah,
It's like, hey, I know you're working right now, but we demand your time right for like
yes,
5 minutes.
important. This is very
Yes.
important for my
We have
self-esteem.
we have friends. We just texted them that you're here. They're flying in. They'll be here in 6.5 hours.
So get comfy. We'll buy you a margarita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 6.
Or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Rules of Engagement with him and David Spade
Yep.
and a bunch of other people?
Yep.
It wasn't a great show, but he was great on that show.
Oh, so funny.
And you notice, because I just watched it all the way through, like for the first time. I'd seen it like years ago, but I watched it for the first time all the way through. They knew that he was the best part because early on it's very like Friends, very everyone's getting their scenes and it's very even. And then like the last 2 seasons, it's mostly him.
Real. Oh, I have to go back and rewatch it now.
It's mostly him. And then I forget her name, Megan Price.
Oh, is that?
No, no, Malali is Will and Grace.
That's Will and Grace, the other one.
Megan Price, I think, plays his wife.
Yeah, God, it's so bad of me. I don't know actors.
But it's like 85% their storylines. And then like the David Spade is like 10%, and then the Oliver Hudson and his fiance one kind of just like falls away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I remember David Spade vividly. So that's funny. Like that's funny that you say that he like falls off towards the later seasons, because I'm wondering if like we just didn't pick up on any of those. That's so funny. I'm gonna go watch it again.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, there's like David Spade and Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
For a lot of it. But like it's very rarely David Spade like without Patrick, or Oliver Hudson without Patrick, and like it was great.
I remember that show being really, really funny. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's just so good.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that he's working so much.
Yes.
Like that he's having success.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same. So it'll make it so much better when you guys meet him next week.
And commandeer him for 6.5 hours until it takes however long it takes for you to get down there. Honestly, 6.5 hours, but like take longer if you need to. Like it's not a big deal.
That's just more margaritas.
More margaritas. And if the park closes, then we'll meet you Polynesian or Caribbean or wherever.
Whatever's easiest for you guys.
Somewhere nice that has more margaritas.
Yes. Well, yeah, naturally.
You gotta keep the Disney Springs.
Oh, Springs has good margaritas. Yeah.
I don't know which situation we would find the latest possible margaritas.
Probably Springs. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Noted. See?
All right, I
Let's
don't want to take too much more of your time, but since it's been on theme, rapid fire,
go.
favorite Disney movie.
Beauty and the Beast.
That's mine too.
No, is it really?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's my
I
live
wish I
action
had
or
no, not live action. What's wrong
animated?
with you? Come on.
Do you like the live action one? I loved the live action one
I
though.
liked parts of it. I thought Luke Evans was a great guest on.
Oh,
I thought
phenomenal.
Josh Gad was a great LeFou.
LeFou, phenomenal.
I thought it looked very pretty.
Okay,
Emma Watson had a bit too much auto tune on her voice.
okay, okay. I'll give it to
It
you.
just it and I didn't get swept away the same way I did by the animated, if that makes sense.
That's valid. I respect that. Have you been
Yeah.
swept away by any of the live action remakes?
I wouldn't say I've been swept away by this one, but I really loved the Jungle Book
Okay,
remake. I thought it was I thought it was an improvement in a lot
okay,
of ways on the animated.
okay.
Um, the only thing that I didn't like is that they turned it into like an action adventure, and that's not what the story
Yes.
was supposed to be.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't seen that one all the way through.
did you turn it off, or did you fall asleep,
I
or
think
what
I fell
happened?
asleep. I think I
Yeah,
fell asleep during that one. I definitely, this is terrible of me because I love the Lion King, fell asleep during the live action Lion
I
King
did
too.
not like the live action Lion King.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes me feel better.
I I was so excited when I heard the cast because
Yeah.
I think Donald Glover is one of the most talented people working in entertainment right now.
1,000,000%.
Like I think he's talented, like super talented writer,
Yep.
actor, singer, rapper, producer, like
All of it.
conceptually he comes up with incredible stories and art, and him as Simba sounded great. And then I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan, but I know that she can sing. And
Yeah.
so her is not. I was really excited about Beyonce's version of Shadowlands, which I was hoping would be brought over from the Broadway musical, which it was not.
It was not.
I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't.
Yep.
Um, I was disappointed in the movie because it felt like what ended up being the case, where they were all in a sound booth saying their lines, but they weren't interacting with each
Interacting.
other.
Yeah.
Turns out that's what was actually happening.
Oh, okay.
Someone said in an interview like Beyonce and Donald Glover never met on this
Really?
project. She recorded her lines in a booth. He recorded his. Seth Rogen recorded his in a booth. On the street, the guy on the street that was Timon.
Um,
Um,
that's so bad of me. I can't think of his
yeah,
name.
in a booth alone. Everyone was in a booth
Yeah.
by themselves, and then like director or producer or someone like feeding them the lines, but like it's not acting. It's like Simba, Scar has taken over Pride Rock. You have to come back, and then
You come in with your
Donald
lines to
Glover.
try to
Yeah,
react.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just over or underwhelming. It was a disappointment. The Lion King
Okay.
one was, and now I find out they're doing a second one, and I'm like, we don't need it. We
I
don't need
know.
it.
I
I don't want
know.
it. No one wants it.
No.
It's not even going to be Lion King 2, like the animated one. It's not going to be that. It's going to be an entirely different
New
storyline.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
I guess Beyonce's coming back, but no one else is like signed on yet,
Oh,
which is wild that she's the first one to sign on. But Disney
yeah.
must have thrown her a ton of money.
She doesn't need it. I
She
mean,
doesn't need
that's
it.
any no.
But
Okay.
she made that side project, like that whole like visual album side by side with The Lion King. Did you ever see or
Oh,
hear about that?
no.
Forget what it's called. It's a concept, I believe, visual album that is a lot about, I don't want to mess this up. Hold on. Yeah, it's called The Lion King, The Gift.
The
And it's
Gift.
all, yeah,
Okay.
Lion King, The Gift. And
Okay.
it's all um Lion King influenced, but no Lion King music. It's all her music that she ties into the storyline and Africa and her story.
Okay.
And it's very good. It's got a lot of features on it. Like she brings on, he's credited as Childish Gambino on here, but she brings on Donald Glover. Pharrell is on a few,
Oh,
a bunch of people who I don't recognize. James Earl Jones does a few interludes as Mufasa.
nice.
It's very interesting, and
Okay.
I would imagine if she's coming back for Lion King 2 that there will be a second
That's why.
high concept visual album
Yeah.
for that as well.
She's so
Um,
smart. That lady is so
yeah.
smart.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate your
That,
hot take. That's a good one.
yeah. Uh, favorite park?
Oh, that's tough. I love Epcot. If I had to pick, if you asked me on the spot, Epcot. If you give me 5 minutes to think about it, Animal Kingdom. Unpopular opinion.
Very unpopular. I don't even want to tackle that one.
That's fair. Okay.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. I'll give you Reader's Digest version. We lived so close to the parks. Magic Kingdom is nostalgic. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Epcot's always probably going to be my first and foremost choice. Hollywood Studios is building itself there, but it's now becoming like a little mini Magic Kingdom. It's just it's crowded, it's wild. I love Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Phenomenal. Just the work they've done there is amazing. Love it. But Animal Kingdom, if I'm going to go stroll around and have a drink and relax, it's going to be an Animal Kingdom. It's shaded, it's huge. I don't mind sitting on a little safari ride and watching some animals. Underrated.
Okay.
Hot take. There you go.
That is a hot take.
I stand by it.
Favorite hidden Mickey that you've found?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Favorite hidden Mickey. Um, the one that comes to mind is the one in Haunted Mansion. When you're going by the dining room scene, the
Hmm.
dining table is set, hidden Mickey out of the plates on the dining table.
Left side or right side of the table?
The
Or dead
table is
center?
running, you're running parallel with the table, so
Right.
it's the left side of the table
So
towards the end.
the side that you're moving towards.
Correct. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. I want to say it's the second setting from the left. It might be on the corner, but it's either that one or the second setting from the left.
Nice.
It's my favorite one.
Favorite park memory?
Memory. After Greg and I were married there, not in the park, but we were married at the wedding pavilion.
I know.
I know you know. Your
Just the
audience doesn't know.
That's fair.
They will know. Um, the night after our wedding, we went to watch Wishes at the Magic Kingdom
I
with our
miss
family and
Wishes.
friends. I do too.
For the record, Wishes and Illuminations,
Oh,
they did not improve
no.
when they changed it up.
I will say Happily Ever After is a decent update to Wishes. Everything else they've come up with though is just garbage.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Bring
Illuminations will never get better. They will never
no.
get better than that.
Bring
But
bring Wishes back, update it, update
yes,
the score, bring in
yes,
the projectors, do the things that you're
yes,
doing with all of that, but bring back Wishes.
yes.
And then Illuminations, it's the I don't know, it's the earth in the middle of the lake. I don't know what you can possibly project, but figure it out.
I don't even think you change it. I don't think you change it. I think you leave it.
I know, but that's a hard sell because they changed it for
I
a
know.
reason.
I know. I
They
get
were
it.
wrong. They changed it for a reason. They were wrong, but they changed it for a reason.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. Favorite park memory after you got
Post wedding.
married?
Post
Wishes.
wedding. That was it. Just watching Wishes on Main Street was probably my
Cute.
favorite one. Greg and I also met in the Magic Kingdom, so that's probably a hard second favorite park memory.
Nice.
There you go. Thank you. I know, right? It's get you in
Yeah.
the feels.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to like take this clip and then send it to him and be like, she still loves you, by the way, in case
12
you
years
didn't
later,
know,
man. Yeah, you're
idiot.
welcome. Don't have to tell you all the time, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank
Stop
you.
being all weird about it. I don't know if he's being weird about it.
He's not
Probably
being
not.
weird about it, but that's okay.
No. Yeah.
You can make him feel really,
Um,
really guilty about it though, anyway.
yeah, for no reason.
None, zero reason.
Yeah.
But like do the dishes tonight, Greg, because
Yeah,
she,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Also, by the way, today is March 28th. So by the time you see this, did you do the dishes?
Good question.
Probably because he's good. Yeah.
He's a good one. He's a good
I
one.
don't know if we ever told you this, Chris or I, when we watched Wishes, if we weren't on the rooftop of the hotel
Yeah.
that the train runs through, I forget.
Contemporary? Yep.
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 We would go from Main Street on that little like side winding road that would take you into Tomorrowland.
Yep.
And there were those big rocks like near
Yep.
the cafeteria area. We
Yep.
would climb up on those.
Oh, that's good.
And like we would like hide from security, and then all the lights would
Yeah.
dim, and then we would go up on there, and like 3 years in a row the Tinkerbell that came like
Right
shooting
over the
down
top.
would see us and be like and wave. And I'm not sure what the contracts were for the actresses playing Tinkerbell, but I like to think that I did that 3 years in a row, and we were the only ones that did it.
Oh, for sure.
And 3 years in a row, this actress saw like every October-ish someone sitting on the rock, and she would wave and be like, is it
Those
October
guys.
already? Oh
Those
man.
guys. Good to see you, boys.
Yeah. But it was the best view because nothing was blocking you. You had the
Yeah.
entire like water right in front of you, so nothing. And then the castle was unblocked, and it was just a little over to the right. It was
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
I just told you that security's everywhere, Justin. You have to watch yourself, but I love that for
I
you.
literally got away with it every time I tried.
I love it.
Not a single time did. There was one time where we tried to get up there like a half hour before the show, and then a bunch of like European kids speaking whatever the hell they
Yeah.
were speaking were like, oh, we're gonna do that too. And then like security was
No.
like, no, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, I got down. But then I went back up like a half hour later, like just
And was
watched,
fine.
lights dimmed, shot back up there, laid
I love
down
it.
so that like I was like barely visible. It was great.
We knew a friend, I actually met more of these people, but one of my friends, her husband is actually the pyrotechnics director for Magic Kingdom. So, which is kind of cool now. I'd like love to get a behind the scenes look at that. But prior to that, like way before I even met Allie, um, Greg and I met a friend that was the pyrotechnics director for Epcot. So we got to go out on a dock, like out into the lake for illuminations one night, and they were telling us like details about the show. That show cost $10,000 a night to run.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable stuff like that. But that was a very cool experience too. That was a good Epcot memory. It was like we were down on the dock in the water, like watching. They have guys out on like jet skis in like all black during the show, and they're monitoring like the fountains and stuff like that. And if something goes wrong, they like there's like a flash, or they like know that it's not like one of the fountains is off, or like one of the firework like detonator thingies is off. So like they will jet out there and they will like turn it off so it doesn't like explode on the barge.
Oh
Like there's a
wow.
whole system. It's all choreographed with the like workers behind the scene. It was nuts. So it was very cool.
Yeah. I think I read or heard somewhere that Disney World is like the second largest purchaser of explosives in the country or something like that.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Like right behind the military.
Military? Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if they're dropping 10,000 a night on just one of their shows,
Yeah.
and then add the other shows in, that's what, 20, 25, $30,000 a day on
Easy.
explosives. Yeah.
Just explosives.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Isn't that wild?
It's
I
wild
can't-
that it's sustainable, that they
well,
make so much that they can do that and like they have the maintenance crew that changes all of the garbage
Yeah.
cans and cuts the grass. Like I remember the first time I went, my dad looked over and he was golfing back then. And he's like, this is like putting green. They must have cut this early. And I remember we went to the Bell's Castle breakfast thing one day,
Hmm.
and you get in before the park opens. And we saw like the last remnants of the lawnmowers going through. And I'm like, oh, they do it
Oh
every
yeah.
day,
Every
every
day.
single day.
Every day.
Make
I
sure it's
used to do
perfect.
everything, but it's like, it's
Hmm.
not even just like the topiaries and the grass. It's like they're repainting banisters and railings
Yeah.
and they go in and hose down every square inch of like the sidewalks to make sure there's no like remnants of ice cream from the day before or gum or it is unreal the amount of stuff that they do. I used to do an event when I was working there as a cast member. You get to be part of like all these really cool like extracurricular events that like it's just cool stuff. So one of them is called Crow, and it's canoe races of the world, and it started out in Disneyland, and it's literally this was you used to have there was an attraction in Disneyland where you could take a canoe around Tom Sawyer Island in the Magic Kingdom. Like guests paddled a canoe. So they obviously got rid of that because you don't want guests doing that.
Right.
But in Disney World, it's a cast member thing now, both in Disneyland and Disney World, where you go out at the like crack of dawn, like 5:30 a.m. It's still dark, and there's canoe races around Tom Sawyer Island. So I used to participate in this. Yes. It's
That's
exactly what you're
very
thinking.
cool. Yeah.
It is very cool, but it's for time. You're like, a team is canoeing and they time everybody. And yes, it's very cool. When you're doing it though, it's the crack of dawn. So you're seeing all
Right.
those maintenance crews and it is like, it's just eye-opening for somebody that worked in an office for Disney. Like I sat at a desk, like these guys are out here at 4:30, 5 a.m. and they're like
Hmm.
literally repainting banisters and like polishing doorknobs.
Hmm.
Like the attention to detail is just wild to me. And yes, I mean, they're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So Disney's sustaining it.
Yeah. I can't, I would love to know like how many employees it takes to like just keep one of those parks running the way that they do
Yes.
it, to the standards that they do it.
Yes.
And then I would also be very curious to know, okay, that many employees, that much in fireworks, and then that much in food, beverage, costume, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Great. What's that number? What does that cost?
God, it's got to be
Great.
astronomical.
All right. So that's what it costs per day. So that means that you got to be making this much.
Right. That's
Has
per
to
day
be.
per park.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that's
And
crazy.
that's why like a lot of people in restaurants will be like, well, why is this so much? And I got into an argument on YouTube about tipping and how I had a guest on and we were talking about celebrities that don't tip. And one of the big ones was Michael Jordan is notorious for like having an expensive dinner and tipping like 20 bucks, 40 bucks. And people are like, well, he earned his money. Like, why do you feel like you deserve more than that? And I'm like, you don't understand all that's going into it. Like, I like, and I probably engaged a little too much, but I explained, I'm like, you're not paying for me to be there for that hour and a half. You're paying for me to be 14 years experienced, to
Right.
study about wine, to study about, I used steakhouse as an example because that's where I have been.
Yeah.
To know about the different steaks and the sauces and how to cook them and why they're cooked this way. And then
Yes.
also that $40 tip doesn't go in my pocket. You had a
It's
party
split.
of 10 people. We split it
Right.
between these two servers. So now that's 20 each, but we also tip out bussers and the bar backs and the sommelier if they put wine on the table. And so now that 20
Yep.
just got divided five more different ways. And so if you're asking me if I think I deserve more than $4 to
Yeah.
take care of Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods for an hour and a half, then yes, I think I do.
Yes.
And it was a whole big thing. And so in the same vein, people are going to complain about ticket prices at Disney and it's like, "Oh, it
Yes.
costs $170 to go walk around a theme park." And it's like it does technically cost 170 to walk around a theme park that had a team of hundreds of people cut the grass this morning, and the bench that you're seated on got hand washed this morning, and there are no scuff marks because it got fresh coat of paint. The doorknobs all got polished. The gum, which Walt had the no gum sold in the parks rule, which I'm sure you knew about.
Yep.
So there wasn't a lot of gum, but you're not going to find any stuck
Nope.
on the sidewalks. And
Nope.
the fireworks show, and even if you don't buy it, there's hundreds of people working to sell food and souvenirs, and so you're
Yes.
paying for all of that.
Yep. Yep.
So it's
You're
not.
paying for somebody to direct you to the ride that you need to go
Mhm.
to and to schedule a dining reservation for you and to give your kid a sticker so that they have a memory from here or
Yep.
to, it's, yeah, it's,
And
I know.
now the wristbands, you're paying for people to. It's not fully AI yet, so people are automating or
Yep.
monitoring the fast pass lines, and
Yep.
I remember when we were handed the red badge, and it's like, hand this to the person right before you get on the ride, and that's how
Yep.
they were monitoring, what's the wait time look like.
Yep. Yep.
So it's,
I know.
but I would be curious about what the difference is, what they
Me too.
profit each day,
Me too.
because
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's got to be astronomical. You think,
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy. I
Yeah.
love it. All right. What else you got? Rapid fire. Sorry, I took us down a rabbit hole.
Favorite little known fact about one of the parks.
Little known fact. Favorite little known fact about one of the parks. Oh man. Shoot. Not a single one's coming to mind right now, but I'm sure I've got a ton.
So mine that I always think of is the
Yeah.
names that are at the top of the buildings,
Yeah.
walking down Main Street,
Yep. But those are all
and
cast
how
members and
all
they're
of
all
those
Imagineers.
all
Yep.
I remember hearing about how the buildings change in scale
Yes,
as
they
they
do.
go up. They're
Yeah.
like full scale on the ground, and then they're what, 3/4 or
Uh,
5/8
five
when you
eighths.
five
Yep.
eighths when you reach the
Yep.
top.
Yep. There's offices up there on Main Street specifically. There's literally conference rooms
I did not know
behind.
that.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's one.
Okay, cool.
There's conference rooms above, like Casey's Corner. There's windows up
Yeah,
above.
yeah.
That's a conference room.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Okay,
ruining
very
magic.
cool.
Sorry, everybody, for ruining magic. I love that
Uh
one.
the what is it? The club that
Club
people are.
33.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's been a minute since I've thought about that. Isn't it like there's only 33 members of it or something like that?
No,
Or
oh no, there's far more members.
okay.
It's invite only.
Right.
So,
You have to earn it
you have to
by
be invited. Yep.
but like, don't you, isn't there like requirements, like
Yes, financial
either,
requirements.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the club itself, you have to be invited. There are different clubs for different coasts as well. So if you're part of Club 33 at Walt Disney World, that does not necessarily translate to Club 33 at Disneyland.
Interesting.
There were not previously, but there are now clubs at all four theme parks. They're kind of hidden away. They all have a bar inside and they've got like a lounge area, which is very, very cool. They're all themed very differently. The one in Magic Kingdom, I believe, is really cool. I wish we could go in there. I've never seen it live, but I've seen the renderings. It's 20,000 Leagues themed. So like I know there's like a Nautilus theme to it. It is very, very cool looking. It is very cool.
Do you know where it's at?
That one is, and you'll see it because it'll have one of the little like tappy things on a doorway, and it's got a little engraved 33. So the logos for Club
Oh,
33, by the way,
yeah.
you'll see it.
That sounds very familiar. Okay.
So that one is Magic Kingdom is in right before you enter Adventureland from the hub.
Okay.
It's gonna be on your right-hand side. It's right before where they used to sell the Dole Whip. They don't sell Dole Whip anymore there. It like was the little
Yeah,
stand
that
with the
was
walk up.
heartbreaking.
Well, they moved it. It's now Dole Whip stand it's called Sunshine Terrace, and it's back by the Aladdin thing and the Tiki Room. So
I thought
Dole
they
Whip moved
took
there.
I thought they took Dole Whip out of Magic Kingdom.
Dole Whip's still there. They don't call it. It's not sponsored by
Oh,
Dole anymore.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Pineapple frothy whip or something like that,
Sure.
aka
Fine.
Dole Whip. Yeah,
It's Dole Whip. Yeah.
it's Dole Whip. They still sell it though. So, but in that like general vicinity is where Club 33 is. So there's
Okay.
you'll see it if you guys go. And then at Epcot, it is in the American Pavilion off to the right-hand side. There's another door, literally. So there's the doorway to the American Adventure. There's like 3 or 4 of them, I think, like double doors that open up. You walk into the American Adventure. To the right, there's a solo door. And it's one of those ones that's like looks really tall from afar, and as you walk up to it, like it's at like eye level is like the top of the door. It's like a fifth. Yeah, it's really cool. When you guys go, you'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Start from the back and walk towards it, and it's like the
Yeah.
door shrinks because of the
Shrinks.
scale. Yeah. Anyway, that doorway leads upstairs to a lounge that I've actually been in that lounge before it was Club 33, but that's where the Club 33 lounge is
Okay.
at Epcot. Animal Kingdom, it's off the bridge leading from, I guess it's Africa, like the line where the Lion King show is. There's a bridge that leads
Yeah.
into Pandora. Off that bridge area, it's like up in the trees a little bit. It's very cool. And Studios, I cannot for the life of me remember off the top of my head where Studios is. I want to say it's upstairs at the Brown Derby, but I cannot remember if that's accurate.
It makes sense.
I think that's where it is.
Like that logically makes sense for like a exclusive lounge
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
area.
pretty positive that's where it is, but I've not actually seen that one. I cannot remember what the theme of that one is. But yeah, they're all differently themed. You have to be invited. It's like basically cost you your firstborn. If you
Yeah.
want to be dual coasted, it costs you more to be a dual coast one, of
Second
course.
born.
Your
Yeah.
second born, so you start producing kids just to sell them for Disney to be
Yeah.
Club 33. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that one day.
Right?
Not sell my kids, but just like be a
No, make
member
enough
of.
money to be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hopefully not sell my kids.
No, I mean,
That's not the goal.
no.
If
Sacrifices though.
you know, look,
Priorities.
the goal is to get into Club 33, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder, can you bring guests?
You get guest passes. Yeah. So they
Perfect.
give you a certain number of guest passes and a certain number of like park passes and stuff like that.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Good.
So when this blows up, this show,
Yeah.
and starts making all the money,
Yep.
and then I get invited because I talked about it,
Yep.
I'll bring
Please.
everyone in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
You're so kind.
I'm excited
Yeah.
about this thing that probably won't ever happen.
Listen, put it in the universe.
It's out there.
I know.
It's out there. 2024 has been a big year of just putting this stuff out there.
I love it. You're going to be
I've
out of
been-
debt, then this is going to blow up.
Yeah,
And then you
hopefully
can-
not like sequentially. Hopefully they can kind of overlap,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I'm hoping that this blowing up helps me get
Get out of debt. Yeah.
I've been posting every single day,
Yeah.
like 2, 3, 4 times a day, like 2 or 3 clips from the show, from random episodes, and then
Yep.
once about the getting out of debt thing.
I love it.
And it's not like astronomically so, but every day I check the not every day, I don't check every day, but every day that I do check the analytics on like subscribers and followers and views and all of that, it's like just up. Sorry, hold on. I think I'm mirrored. Just up and up
Yeah.
and up and up. And it's crazy to think that I started this podcast back in 2019, and then just 2024, I was like, all right, let's actually do something about it. And just a month and a half of posting every day is
You're starting
all
to see
that
the
it's been.
upticks.
Yeah.
Good.
It's just consistency is really what it's like. That's the difference maker. It's kind of
love it.
crazy. Yeah.
I know, but it makes sense. I'm proud of you though. This is amazing.
Thanks. Thank you for taking the time to come on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. What an honor.
Yeah, yeah, of course. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I'll talk Disney any day,
Oh.
any time. I'm glad
You
that
know I'm good for it.
I'm glad that we both have a trip to Disney coming up that we get to brag about.
Too.
And then no, not the other one doesn't have to feel bad about, oh, I'm not going, like
For
I
like
don't
a
have
year.
anything scheduled this
Yeah.
year. Like, yeah. I'm
No.
glad that because my mom, I wasn't gonna go. I was gonna like stay and work and save money and get out of debt and all of that. And she was like, I'll pay for your ticket. I'm like, no, don't pay for my ticket. Like, you don't need to do that. You're gonna force me to go. Okay, fine, I'll go.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but it'll
Good.
be fun.
Enjoy it.
I will. Thank you.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have, I
Oh,
mean,
it's gonna be Florida. We're gonna do beach. I'm gonna do Disney. I'm gonna do
good.
Boma. Um, gonna see friends. Gonna see family. What more can you ask for?
No, absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
very glad you're going. Go enjoy it. It's going to be incredible. We need to coincide next time. Like we got to
Yeah,
figure out how to like
we need to sync it
actually,
up.
yeah, sync these trips next time. So
Yeah.
we'll next year, 2025.
Yep.
It'll be good.
Food and wine is always my preference, but
I'm down for
that's
that too.
also fall 2025.
I
So like
know.
let's maybe do spring or
Yeah,
winter. Let's get away from the snow.
the cold. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
My skin will thank everyone because it gets really
Likewise.
bad. Yeah.
Mine too. And my vitamin D I need. So
Yeah.
let's do that. I like this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Good. It
Deal.
was good
All
catching
right.
up, my friend.
Yes, so good. Tell everyone that I love them and I miss them.
We'll do.
All
We'll
right.
do. Have so
I'll
much fun on your trip. Talk to you
I
soon.
will. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.